It's about a minute, ain't it? The 8th, the 13th.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please be seated. If you've got cell phones or pages or anything like that, would you please put them on silent or vibrate so you don't disturb anyone during the course of tonight's meeting? Okay, we're going to be calling tonight's meeting to order. The regularly scheduled business meeting for the Village of Broadview for February 3rd, 2014. Let the record reflect that we're starting on time at 8:30, well, actually 8:31.
7:30.
7:31, I'm sorry. Mr. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Trustee Abraham? Here. Trustee Benson? Present. Trustee Turner? Mayor Jones?
Present.
Trustee McGreer?
Here.
Trustee Morris?
Here.
Trustee Brown Reno? Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please take a moment of silence. Next item on the agenda is the swearing-in ceremony of David Cohen, Corey Trinner, and Seth Lamb to the position of firefighter.
Oh, yeah.
All three right at the same time. Okay, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
Have been appointed to the office of fireman
I've been appointed to the office of fireman
in the fire department of the Village of Broadview
in the fire department of the village of Broadview,
in the county of Cook,
in the county of Cook,
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of fireman
the duties of the office of fireman
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Absolutely. Right down there. It's a good thing. Fantastic.
Thank you. Welcome. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Congratulations. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Congratulations, welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys on board.
Okay, at this time, we're going to go ahead and pin their badges on. A couple have requested to have some close members of their family to come do the honor for them, so if you guys would come up, I appreciate it at this time. I'd just like to say this is a big night for the fire department and the village itself. These are our latest 3 new hires. This will bring us 6 new hires in the last 5 months that we brought on the department. So the numbers are going up. We're getting our manpower back up to where it should be. And Again, I want to thank the mayor and the village board for all their help and support in getting that done. So, welcome aboard. Look forward to having you guys around for another 30 years. So. Also, I got the floor real quick. Our new agent was delivered last week. All right. Outside. I'm pretty proud of it. So, again, thank you, Mayor and the village board, for helping us get this done as well. That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is public comment.
First on the public comment list is Ms. Katrina Arnold.
Trina Arnold, 2533 South 18th Avenue. Good evening, Mr. President and Village Board Trustees. I'm just coming before you because I sent a letter to the Village Trustees on the 30th asking for their help and their support. On December 5th, the Zoning Board Committee approved the variances for the library renovation expansion project with a 7-0 unanimous vote for approval of the variances. And as of today, almost 60 days later, the finding of facts have not been presented to the zoning board president for his signature. Per ordinance in Broadview, ordinance number 10-7-3A, it states that the findings should be presented to you board, members of the board within 30 days after the hearing. On December 11th, the transcript for the zoning board meeting was presented to all the attorneys and to the library. And as of today, the finding of facts have not been submitted to the zoning board president for his signature, so they can present to you guys to vote either way for the extension for the approval of variances. So I just called and asked for you guys' help and asking the village attorneys to vote for the job and to submit the finding of facts to the zoning board president for his signature, and to ask for your help in passing and voting yes on the variances that were proposed and approved by the zoning board commission on December 5th, 2013. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Next up is Ms. Redden.
Thank you, Mr. President, trustees, residents, and administrators. I had spoke at the last board meeting, which was Tuesday, January 21st, and I think at the end, before you went to executive session, Mayor Jones, I also spoke to you on this issue about the library, as Ms. Arnold was referring to, that I know you all don't have the transcripts or the finding of fact document in front of you, but it's something that we need to have done. And we hired a lawyer. So I'm asking, Mayor, you told me on Tuesday, that 21st, that you told the lawyer to get it through. Let's get it expedited, because as I said before, when Joe Rayner came in here October 7th and he said, hey, we got 1.5 million square feet of area or businesses that could be leased or sold, we got more important business to get into it with the people of the village. They passed this at 81%. We need to get it on. Whether we agree it should be where it is, you all know the history, you all doing the history, as I understand it. I haven't been here 50 years, but I've been doing my homework. The village had the library, and you all shared the area. So you know what? There's no issue about anything. Let's move this forward and do it for the residents of Broadview. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, that ends the public comments for today.
Next item on the agenda is consideration to approve the following minutes. First one, January 8th, 2014.
Let me make a point of order. First off, let's make a note for the record that Trustee Brown Marino did make it to tonight's meeting, Mr. Clerk, and then you can carry on.
Consideration to approve the following minutes, January 8th, 2014.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Probably motion by trustee McGrail, and probably second by trustee Morris. Did everyone see all of the minutes? Did everyone review and got any questions answered? And if you got any comments, corrections, or changes, make your statements at this time, starting with trustee Brown Marino.
Now, I submitted my list of amendments to the clerk, and as I read through them, it's all been, they've all been addressed, yes.
Trustee Morris?
No.
Trustee McGrail? None. Trustee Turner?
No.
And trustee Benson?
Yeah, is this motion just for one or all?
It's for all three.
Okay, I abstain on 8 and 13, as I wasn't here on 21, I will vote.
Trustee Abraham?
My questions were taken care of.
All your questions were answered?
Yes.
Thank you. A vote in the affirmative on this particular motion is to pass all of the agenda items, all of the items listed here, the minutes from the 8th, the 13th, and the 21st. All in favor?
Abstain.
All opposed, say nay. Hearing no opposition with one abstention, the motion is carried, and these minutes are passed by this board, and they will become a part of the record. Mr. Clerk, next agenda item, please.
Next agenda is consideration to approve expenditures.
No.
Grand total funds, $506,143.90.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been probably motioned by trustee Abraham and probably seconded by trustee Turner to approve the expenditure of funds for this pay cycle. Do I have a report from the finance department? Trustee Abraham?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Starting with Auto Truck Group, $4,637. Blue Cross Blue Shield, $118,627.80. Brothers Asphalt Paving Incorporated, $12,302.42. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, $106,469.43. CES Office Technologies, $4,026.05. Commonwealth Edison, $3,212.73. Group Industries, $43,020.13. Gas and Way Distributors, $2,634.94. Geno's Heating and Plumbing, $57,015. Hyja Kim, $23,020. Law Offices of Bill Fernero, $18,387.50. Mecca Tree Service, $18,855. MFA Construction, $7,916.68. Mid-American Water, $10,089.42. Michael Connolly, $4,175. Monroe Truck Equipment, $9,775. NIPSA, $3,995. West Cook County Solid Waste Agency, $6,950.33. Subtotal of all vendors over $2,500, it came out to $455,109.43. Our total expenditures are $506,143.90 for a percent of total of 90%.
But those are all the vendors over 2,500, right?
Right.
Okay. Questions, comments, or corrections from the members of the board, starting with trustee Marino?
Yeah, I would like to ask that the invoice for MFA Construction be pulled from the bills to be paid tonight. In his invoice, Mr. Ames says, all work guaranteed to be as specified per contract agreement. The contract agreement calls for him to do certain things, including maintaining records and reports and that type of stuff, to maintain a standard of care. I debated tonight about how much to get into as far as that Mr. Ames is not doing the job that he's supposed to be doing. As chairman of the Water Committee, last meeting, Mr. Ames said that there was an inspection done of the water tower that's calling for regular maintenance, which I have no argument with, but he offered, if any of the trustees wanted the report, to send him an email. I've sent him a couple of emails about that. He won't respond to me. He refuses to provide, he didn't give any kind of report until the last meeting since last July. Not written, not verbal, nothing. We've got 200 tons of salt that he's ruined, and this is the second time that this has happened. We've got, I mean, I'm going to stop with that, not because there aren't a gazillion other things that I could list, but he is clearly, as thrilled as the rest of you are with him, he is not doing the job that we have hired him and contracted with his company to do. So I'm asking that that invoice be pulled. And I also am concerned, Bush Lawn Service, this will make $4,050 that we're paying them this year in these first 3 meetings for plowing municipal lots. That is excessive. And again, that comes back to Mr. Ames failing to do any kind of bidding or RFPs, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm concerned about the practice. I hope that this is not going to continue, although we have more snow coming, that we're paying this kind of money to have our municipal lots plowed. That's ridiculous, especially with all the people in this village that are out of work, kids, what have you. I'm sure we could do a whole lot better than that, even if we hired residents with shovels and snow blowers to go out and plow the municipal lots. So I'm asking that the MFA construction invoice be pulled until Mr. Ames starts doing the job that he's contracted to do.
Does that complete your comment, Trustee Newman?
That'll do it.
Okay, your request is noted for the record. Trustee Morris?
Okay, my response not gonna be as long as hers, but I don't know if you can say that we are fond of him. You know, you speak for yourself. And then secondly, I don't know if you know how much we pay Bush Lawn Services to do his work, and I don't think that you should say his name like that because he works throughout the community. This is how he feeds his family. So I think that when it comes to Mr. Ames and what he does for public works, I think that you need to, if you can't get the answer, ask somebody, put it on paper, and let us deal with it like that. You just can't take a man's check and say, don't pay him because you don't understand what's going on. That's
Not that I don't understand. It's not that I don't understand.
Trustee, point of order, Trustee Marino. Trustee Turner. Trustee Benson.
At first, I didn't want to say anything, but I am going to make a small comment. As far as the water tower report and reports, I asked for them, I get them. At the very last board meeting, he had the report here in his hand. I said, go back there and make me a copy. He did. I got it. I read it. I don't know what the problem is. That's my only comment.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you, Trustee Benson. Trustee Amen.
This is the first I'm hearing that there's some issues with a trustee. Again, I know there's 2 other trustees that sit on the Finance Committee, so I'm not sure if this was brought to their attention regarding some of these issues. But again, you know, obviously, I do look in if there's an inquiry, if we have a question on some of these invoices. We've been doing it, so I mean, there is a procedure in place. As far as the Bush, I looked at the invoices. You know, if this is something we're outsourcing, you know, for him to do a job. I mean, obviously, I don't understand what the issue is. Again, it's somebody that does live within our community. As far as the MFA construction regarding the Director Ames, first time I'm hearing about this, that there's issues with his job responsibilities. I mean, I don't see a problem with it, sir.
Okay. You know, my 2 cents is real simple. Based on the comments here, the only thing in question from Trustee Marino was MFA construction. Every member of this board is aware of the angst between the 2 individuals, Trustee Marino and the Director of Public Works. He's got a contract. He provides services to the village of Broadview. We have an obligation under the Prompt Pay Act to pay the individuals once they provide the services. We do have a process in place if you've got an issue or situation or some concerns with any of the vendors, and this public forum is not the place to be having that conversation. We've had ample time because this stuff comes out on Tuesday. We've had all week, last week, and all this weekend to raise these issues. So we have a finance committee. Each one of you are aware of who's on the finance committee. And if you got a problem with an invoice, you should direct it to the members of the finance committee for them to investigate and have a response for you. But to want to pull somebody's paycheck just because you don't feel that you've been served personally properly is improper and incorrect. That's my opinion. With that being said, Bush Lawn Service, we'll talk about that. We talked about no RFPs and bidding, and this is excessive. Well, the amount of snow we've had this year is excessive. This is one of the highest record recorded snowfalls that we've had in the history of the Chicagoland area. State of Illinois. State of Illinois. We've got over 50 inches of snow already, so it ranks right up there with 79 and 67 and I want to say 83, you know. So we've got more snow now than we've had in a long time. And the issue that you brought up about, you know, 2,000 or 200,000 tons of salt that you accuse Director Ames of messing up is not the fault of Director Ames. It's because we don't have enough space to store it. We do not have a snow shelter that's large enough to accommodate that amount of snow. And it's this board's responsibility to pass the payment for creating and building such a structure to accommodate that amount of salt. We can't, you know, we have. And once we do, then you can go back and say, well, Director Ames didn't do what he was supposed to do. But you can't blame that on Director Ames because we don't have the resources to accommodate that amount of salt, although we needed it considering the snowfall. So, you know, while I'm hearing what you're saying, you know, everyone in the room needs to understand that there's some temperament in there. There's a bias with the individual making the comments. And oh, by the way, Bush's fee of $4,050, who knows whether that's excessive or not, considering how many times it snowed and how much snow we've had. I don't know. It's to our benefit to have Bush available to us, and I thank the Lord that he is available to us, considering the fact that our 150 went down and the Jeep went down. And so we were left with, 3 vehicles to plow? Yep. So we had 3 vehicles for the whole town, the 2 brand new 450s and 1 other vehicle to plow. And the international. So it's because we have Bush around and individuals like Bush to assist us that that we were able to clear the streets for the residents and the businesses and the village of Broadview so that people could park and so that we could, you know, traverse the streets. So,
we did a great job.
And they did a fantastic job. You know, I've been getting compliments about the guys all along. With that being said, I'll entertain a individual voice vote on this one, Mr. Clerk. And
Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Benson.
Yes.
Trustee Turner.
Yes.
Trustee McGreer.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino.
No.
And the motion carries to pay the bills as presented by a vote of 5-1.
Next item on the agenda is reports from village officers. Those reports will be given the second meeting of the month. Item number 6 is announcements. 2 of them. We received an email from Lori Madden, and she says she is the Community Nutrition Network Senior Director of Broadview Township, Wellness located at Sharp Community Center in Melrose Park. CNN provides the senior cafe here at the above location as well as Meals on Wheels. Community Nutrition Network participates in the National March of Meals campaign. She goes on to say, if you're interested in the March of Meals, please contact me at your earliest convenience regarding any day that you can help in March. She goes on to say if there's any question as far as the Meals on Wheels, please contact her at 708-316-7488. I don't know if any of you have had anyone involved dealing with a senior that wasn't getting proper nutrition and Meals on Wheels. This is an incredible program that we have. So please, if there's seniors out there, personally, I direct them to this. Number 2, we have a letter here from ComEd, again, on the winter. It says, ComEd understands the impact of loss of electrical services for customers, especially in extreme weather. They can also place stress on a system and then place stress on finances. Goes on to say, ComEd urges customers to contact utility immedately if they experience power outages. Customers can text OUT or 26633 to report it or call 1-800-334-7661. Another item on here that it talks about, as a part of customer commitment, we offer financial assistance programs to help those experiencing hardships and struggles with bill payment. First one, CHAMP. ComEd helps active military personnel. Second one is residential special hardship programs. And the third is a nonprofit system that's a 4013C. Again, they go on, they give the number to call, it's 1-888-806-2273. That's it. That completes all of our announcements. Item number 7, old business, we have none. Item number 8, new business. A, consideration of an ordinance declaring a certain fire engine as surplus property and authorizing the sale of the said property for the village of Broadview, county of Cook, state of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Motion by trustee Morris and second by trustee Abraham to approve this agenda item. Who wants to talk about it? Who's got it? You want to talk about it, Chief? Chief could be one of you, the one.
This is to remove engine 215, which is our oldest vehicle. It's a 1982 American LaFrance. It's 32 years old. That's the vehicle that the new engine is replacing. So obviously we need to get it off the books of the village so we can put it up for sale. One part that goes along with this is we cannot sell it to another emergency agency. It can't be, it's part of the grant that we received from FEMA, one of the stipulations in the grant. We cannot sell it as another emergency vehicle because of it doesn't meet the standards anymore, which is one of the reasons why we got the grant to replace it. So it's deemed unsafe by FEMA. So it can only be sold to a collector, parade vehicle, that type of thing. So, because it doesn't meet today's standards anymore. It's an open cab, guys can fall off of it, those type of things. So part of the reason FEMA's doing these grants is to try to get these vehicles off the street, basically. So, and replace it with newer, more up-to-date vehicles. So the intention of the ordinance is for us to sell a vehicle.
Thank you, Chief. Questions for the Chief? Trustee Marino?
Do you have a buyer in mind?
I've got one right now that contacted me. He's a collector. He lives in the area. He lives in Elmwood Park. So he's looking to buy. He already offered $2,500 for it, so which is actually a very good price for the vehicle for as old as it is.
Thank you.
Trustee Moore?
No.
Trustee McGriff?
No.
Trustee Turner?
No.
Trustee Benson?
Thank you, no.
And Trustee Abraham?
No.
I have nothing, Chief. I've already had my conversation. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing no opposition, the motion carries, so you may go on through the process.
Item B under new business, consideration of an application for the business license for Northern Battery for the village of Broadview, county of Cook, state of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Benson, second by Turner. Trustee Benson, you want to tell us what the business is?
The business is Jim Dunsky Corporation. I hope I'm saying it right. Northern Battery, the alternate name. They are a wholesale battery distribution company. They sell and distribute automotive parts, trucks, tractor, marine, and motorcycle batteries. I do have all necessary paperwork proof. They'll be located at, let's see here, looking for 2427 to 2435 Gravel Drive in Broadview.
Right on the corner.
Yep. And it looks like we'll get some of that, so that's good.
Is there anyone here from Northern Battery? Step up, sir. Who are you?
Mark Burnett.
How you doing, Mark? Welcome. So if you will for a minute, please indulge us. If any of you on the panel have questions for Mark, he's here representing Northern Battery. We'll start with Trustee Brown Marino for Mark.
No.
Trustee Moore?
No.
Trustee McGriff?
Mark, what's your position with Northern Battery?
Division manager.
Will you be located on site
Yes,
here
sir.
in Broadview? Very good, thank you, sir.
Trustee Turner?
No, welcome.
Trustee Benson?
I was just looking for your name when you stood up, like, where is it on here? I see you. If you get voted in, welcome.
Trustee Abraham?
No questions and welcome to our community.
Thank you.
Got any jobs over there?
Couple
Got any vacancies? What kind of employees you looking for?
drivers in warehouse.
Driving a warehouse? Please let us know. See the guy standing behind you right there? That's Mr. Upshot, the building department. You know, let us know. We do have people that are local looking for work all the time. Members of the board, all in favor of this business, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Hearing no opposition, the motion carries. Welcome to Broadview. Your business license has been approved, sir.
Thank you.
We'll make a matter of record. Mr. Clerk?
Item number 9, application for the authority to expend fund $6,705.
Motion to approve.
Motion by McGreer, second by Morris to approve this expenditure. Who's got the request? You got it?
Yes, sir. The first invoice, sir, is for Conica Minota Business Solutions in the amount of $6,180. It's for both a BizHub style copier and also a desk printer service contract. I don't see Director Baptiste in, so I'm assuming this is to replace old copy machine we had here at Village Hall.
It's just an old copy machine replacement and a server contract for all the printers that they just recently purchased, which comes along with replacement ink cartridges for all the printers.
Very good.
Yeah.
The second one is for $525 from Z-Bar, and this is for the new truck that we approved last board meeting for Public Works, the new 250. There's a rhino lining in the back of the truck that protects the bed of the truck for when we, tow stuff and carry stuff in it. And this should be outfitted pretty soon, along with the plow and some other things.
Okay. Has everyone seen all of the request for purchase? Anybody got any questions or comments? Trustee Marino?
No?
Trustee Moore? No. Trustee McGreer?
None.
Trustee Turner? Trustee Benson? And Trustee Abraham?
No.
Mr. Clerk, can I have a roll call on this one, please?
Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Benson.
Yes.
Trustee Turner.
Yes.
Trustee McGreer.
Yes.
Trustee Morris.
Yes.
Trustee Brown Marino.
Yes?
And that motion carries unanimously for those expenditures.
Next item on the agenda are committee reports. The committee chair. First is Water, Drainage, and Health. Trustee Brown Marino.
Well, as chairman of Water, Drainage, and Health, I want to make it clear that my attempt to hold back Mr. MFA Construction's payment was a last resort. For over 2 years, I have tried to work with him. I've tried to get information so that I can do some sort of a job as chairman of Water, Drainage, and Health, and have been stymied. I have tried communicating with Trustee Abraham about concerns about bills. She too refuses to even respond to my emails. So I am at a loss for what to try to do to accomplish anything, and I think that that's by design. So, other than that, I have no report.
Thank you, Trustee Marino.
Fire, Police, and Civil Service. Trustee Morris.
Good evening, all. I just think that, when we look at what the fire and police are doing out here, it's just mind-boggling. The way they coming up with ways to bring more personnel on, the new equipment, and I mean at a minimum cost of the village. I mean, what can you say but thank you to the both of them, And then like the last meeting when we was here, that's when they was having the big fire out in Cicero. We left here at midnight. At midnight, we left from over here. And I walked over there and the chief, he was still there. He told me he was waiting on his guys to come back in. And then I talked to one of the guys, they said they didn't get back until 3 a.m. So, he could have been at home in the bed asleep. But I mean, this guy, he over there trying to find a way to get something else done. So, my report is just the appreciation that I personally have just dealing with both of them every day. And it's just, like I said, it's just mind-boggling. And then I just think that by me sitting on Public Works and the Finance Committee, I would say to Ms. Brown Marino that maybe she needs to try to be friends with some people. And maybe she could probably talk to some people. You can't call me out my name today and then ask me to lend you a dime tomorrow. life is not like that. I mean, we living in a reality world up in here. Everybody got a job to do, and I understand that she got a job to do too. But you can't just talk about how fond we are of somebody, and then you say, well, nobody wants to work with me. Because every time somebody tries to work with you, you come in here, you throw somebody's name up in the air, and then when you find out it's not true, you don't even say, you know what, I'm sorry that I did that last week, because it's not true. So, you know, we need to try to work as a team, because we are, but we each individuals. And just because I can shake Dave's hand and we can go watch the Bears play, but when we come up in here, it's not personal, it's business. So just because you might see me out with the chief, we might be friends, but if he asking for something that we can't give him, I don't have nothing to do with me being over his house eating dinner yesterday, thank you. But it ain't got nothing to do with what's up in here. And I think everybody else feel the same way. So try to be friends. Let's all get along. Thanks.
Mr. Clerk? Thank you, Trustee.
Next committee report, streets, sidewalks and alleys, trustee McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, Mr. Mayor, trustees, residents. First, I want to say thank God for the assistance that we have been able to call upon, such as Bush Lawn Service, in the time of need. We've had vehicles that are older than dirt to go down, and we're trying to, like Mr. Ames said last board meeting, thank God for our mechanic, John Shiskoff. He is great in being able to keep this old fleet together with bubble gum and toothpicks. And with the 150 being down, which had a plow on it, with the Jeep being down at one time, which had a plow on it, and those are the smaller vehicles that we need to plow the alleys, the municipal lots, the fire department, the police department, your service vehicles. We had to have someone we can call upon, and thank God we have someone in the village, and we can keep the business in the village, who does a good job. So with that being said, I've looked at those invoices, and I know the work that has been done and all of the snowfall that has taken place over the last couple of months. The invoices are in order. Don't listen to what you heard. Next, as the mayor earlier mentioned, this has been the third highest recorded snowfall in the history of Illinois. We're pushing 60 inches if we continue on the course that we're at right now. I think we're at 54, the last count, and it's no wonder we've exhausted our supply of salt. On several occasions, we have discussed building an overhead protector for the salt over at Public Works, and we've had some work done on it this year to, try to band-aid what has been eroding from the salt and the weather and the elements over the years. That money has not been in the budget. We're pushing hard for that money to be in the budget this year, so we can have something that we can store a proper amount of salt and not have to pay exorbitant amounts to store it off-site. Nobody in the state of Illinois has salt right now. Everybody's been hit hard. And we have an appeal right now for a company in Iowa to purchase 100 tons of salt. And the charge is $25,000. Now, usually $25,000 gets us 600 tons of salt. But because supply and demand is such now that everybody wants it and they're low on it, on the supply, we got to pay out the behind from it. So we're going to put in the budget the things that are going to be necessary to keep us from being in this position, which we have tried to plan for before, and get Public Works and the streets, sidewalks, and alleys back into where we need to be. The new truck, the 250 that we mentioned last board meeting, it has been outfitted with the bedliner that you just heard about on the PO. We have the lighting that's going to be outfitted on the truck, and we also have a plow. Now, originally we were going to go with a V plow, which pushes the snow in a certain direction. We found that the directional plows are a lot better, especially when getting next to the curb. So Monroe is taking care of that now, and that should be out in the street, servicing the streets and the snowfalls pretty soon. Since the last board meeting, we've had 5 water main breaks. In fact, last night at kickoff, Director Ames had to contact our local vendor who takes care of these things and is right there on the spot, right at kickoff. And we had 2 water main breaks just yesterday. So while we would have liked to report that we're way down in cost on water main breaks, at one time we were, but this cold weather is killing us. The pipes freeze, they expand when it gets warmer, and nature took its course. So We're in order with all of that. I'm not going to comment on some of the things that you heard one of our trustees say today. Everybody knows what that's all about. But we're here for, again, like Trustee Morris said, the village business. We should not let this stuff get personal, as one of us did. And we're going to keep moving the village forward under the budget. So with that being said, Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee McGuire. Sir?
Next committee report, building and public property, Trustee Turner.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I would just like to say thank you to Dave Upshaw and Director Ames for some items that were brought to my attention that were going on in the village as far as public property, comment lines, trees on the lines. And I brought it to their attention, I brought it to ComEd's attention, things are being looked at and taken care of. I have no problems when I email or text somebody in the middle of the night, because it just pops on my mind and I have to send it right away. I do get answers back, so I have no problems getting answers back from department heads or any of my other trustee fellows, even the mayor. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Turner.
Next committee report, business committee, Trustee Benson.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say that I'm glad we are still moving Broadview forward when it comes to businesses. Dave and his department is over business licenses, and they are doing a great job of keeping up with all of our business licenses and making sure all the business license applications get sent out, make sure we collect all the money for our business licenses. But another thing, for a community that is kind of small, with really not much, land and metal in place for new expansion of businesses, we keep getting new businesses. I want to thank the board. I guess I have to say, minus one person, because they did not vote for it, for bringing in the checkers and moving forward with the checkers, because at one point the deal was dead, and now it's back on. So we're doing what we can to get the businesses here, and thank you all for helping with that, zoning board, everybody that helped with it. Gotta thank you for that. And don't forget, everyone, we're trying to make our businesses look so good on Broadview Road. So we have what coming up? The street trade project coming up this spring, early maybe April. All of that's going to start on Broadview Road. We got businesses putting in their applications for fixing up their personal facade. Am I saying this right? They have put their applications in, we vote on it every single time they put one in, and they're fixing up their own facade so that when we do the streetscape project, Roseville Road looks good. I think we got some other stuff as far as widening Roseville Road coming, all kinds of stuff coming for our businesses in the Broadview. So we really are doing all we can. That'll complete my report. I have more to talk about regarding the meetings I was having and all of that at the next board meeting.
Thank you, Trustee Benson.
Next committee report, Finance Committee, Trustee Abraham.
Yes, good evening, residents. I have a few items that I want to keep you updated on. Again, I want to thank our fire chief as well as our police chief, these two gentlemen this past year, with being able to secure additional manpower for our community as well as equipment. And one of the things they did is, one, they worked within their budget, and they also were able to be very creative as far as securing grants and utilizing other sources of getting equipment for free. So they have saved the village quite a bit of money for us as taxpayers, but they've updated and they've equipped their departments sufficiently. I know right now our Public Works Department and meeting with Director Ames, we've discussed certain things, and I know what I said as the chairman of the Building and Public Property, we do know that facility at Woodhouse, the salt, is obviously outdated. It's not updated, I should say, so it's not able to secure our salt. So that's something we definitely have to look for, in the future, what we want to do with that. Also with the police and fire, again, with them securing a grant for our new truck out there. They also have a dual vehicle that they took our old rescue unit, rescue squad or ambulance, and they made that a command center. Both departments are using it. And again, that was not a cost to us as taxpayers. So again, you know, we have department heads that are in place, that are working well within their means of their budget. Currently, right now, they're all having meetings with Tom Wood, our budget officer, as we go forward for 2014, 2015. So again, they're sitting down with Jan and Tom, which is a good thing, so I'm happy for that. Also, I know Tom is real open. He's done some research. We've had some trustees that have made inquiries on certain, you know, contracts of certain things, so we're looking into that, doing some research on that. Also, there was a personal comment made tonight by Trustee Brown Marino about me not responding to something. The only thing I heard was an email, I believe it's about the Phil Fernero, which is our law firm, attorney bills. So you know, residents, there's a process. If a trustee has an issue, and we have two other people on the committee, that's Trustee Morris as well as Trustee McGreer, okay? So when attention is brought to us, we do investigate it, as the mayor has said, and we do get with these different vendors. I met, because some trustees that question it, Trustee Turner was able to get to the meeting because she had questions regarding his invoices. So I don't know where Trustee Brown's going with this or this accusation. But again, if you have a personal issue with me, you know, this is not, you know, the place to do it. This is a professional business meeting. We're here to conduct business. My questions and my issues, what other trustees had asked, or what Trustee Turner, that's between myself and the vendor that we had the discussion with. You know, his invoices were fine. We agreed on it. We moved. You got to show up for meetings. You also got to be able to work with other people. I mean, I don't know what's on your resume, so I don't know what your experience is with for business meetings or business. But my questions were answered. Trustee Turner, I believe yours was answered that evening. I think Trustee Morris, Trustee McGreer had some questions. They met with them. Their questions were answered. I mean, there's no other problem. You did not tell us if there was a problem with Mr. Fernero. Nobody was aware of it. No, that's right. He's there. He did call you, right? I'm sorry. I want to correct that. Mr. Fernero did call Trustee Benson just to make sure. So, not sure what you're leading to or alluding to or accusing or whatever. That's in my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Abraham. Mr. Clerk?
Item number 11, Village Clerk, Garnet Walters. And the announcements, I have no further report. Item number 12, Village President, Sherman Jones.
You guys have heard a lot of back and forth between the village trustees. You know, and it's unfortunate, and I think I've said this in previous meetings, that we have to go through this process. I've labored very hard to try to make sure that we have an open dialogue and as opposed to covert activities within the village board. The lines of communication have always been open. Some of the trustees choose to avail themselves to them and others don't. This is not a venue to have a debate about whether you talk to somebody or not. We should be in the legislating and putting on the issues at hand. This is not a quote-unquote, you know, town hall type of meeting. It's a village board business meeting. That being said, I'm not getting ready to get into the details of all of the banter going back and forth, other than suffice it to say that I've reviewed the bills. I know what's going on and why they are like they are. I haven't seen anything that's really outrageous or out of order that hasn't been adequately responded to by the individual contractor in question. I will want to talk about the library issue. The library issue is not on our agenda, has not been on our agenda. You guys have come down here, members of the library board, supporters of the library have come down here, and I'm not going to speak for any or name any individual board members, but they feel that you all are attempting to bully the village of Broadview forward into acting on something that hasn't been presented to us yet. We hear you. I just need you all to know that we hear you. In our lobby today, this was posted over the weekend. I know who the individual was. You were on camera. Don't do this. I'll have you arrested the next time. Don't be a coward about it and not put your name on it and put up there concerned residents of the village of Broadview. Who is that? But to come in here and put something for the library on and to face the federal government building with this kind of nonsense, because you taped it to the wall. We had no authorization to do that. You will be arrested and prosecuted the next time you do that. You want to post something on our wall, you need to see me. You need to contact me. I was in the building. I was in the building over the weekend, as a matter of fact. You could have seen me, and I would have addressed your concern. But to post this on our wall and be a coward about it and not put your name on it is improper, and I will have you arrested the next time. If we had to come to your house and get you if you get out the door. Okay, that's the first thing about that. Secondly, it's not the village board's position to stop a process, nor is it our position to fix an irregularity made by another board. The Village of Broadview's library board put the cart before the horse when they went to referendum and went to the people about a project that they had not gotten approved by the village prior to. Whether it was the library board or the library director, I don't know which one. Somebody ignored village ordinances and processes as it relates to zoning and variances. And you all went on and did this process without getting everything approved first. The failure to plan on the library's part, or whoever was responsible for that process, that failure, does not constitute an emergency for this board. We have a process on how we do things, and we will go through the process. We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to get the legal opinion about it. We're going to get the information from the zoning board meeting. We're going to get all of their recommendations. Each one of these members of this board will review them individually, and then collectively we'll talk about it in an open session where you can hear us. And that's a promise to you all. But I don't want you all to think that we can be held responsible for the delay in this because the library board did not follow the village procedures for construction and development within the borders of the Village of Broadview, which is governed by this board. The library board does not make that determination, this board does. But unfortunately, we're at this point in time where the library board has misstepped or done some things incorrectly in the process and jumped ahead 3 or 4 spaces. And now we got to go back and take a look at this thing after the fact. But you can't try to strong arm the board. That doesn't work. And the more you guys come down here to talk about it and it's not on the agenda, you're beating a dead horse. There's nothing's going to happen until it gets on the agenda. We hear you. We've heard you. We've heard you, Ms. Arnold. We've heard you. We've heard each and every one of you. It's become old. It's redundant. We've heard it. As soon as it gets to us, we will address it. To your point, Ms. Arnold, it hasn't even gotten back to the president of the zoning board. You're asking us to act on something we haven't even looked at yet. We can't even do that. You know, and I'm not going to get into it. I shouldn't even really be talking about it at this point because it's not even on the agenda. It's not something that's in front of this board to discuss right now. You guys are asking us to discuss something that we haven't even looked at yet. And that's all I got to say on the matter at this point in time. I'm going to request that someone here make a motion to suspend the regular board meeting. We do have an executive session today. It should be very brief, and I'm going to share some information with these folks in the executive session, and then we'll be back to conclude tonight's board meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to suspend the regular board meeting and go into executive session.
Second.
Motion by McGreer, second by Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we're going to executive session, folks. Thanks for coming out. Those of you that to wait until we come back, we'll see when we come back.